Welcome to the part 4 of Drupal migration basics. So today, this video will be about how to modify and update the Drupal migration YAML and some of the frequently used command line interface that I've used for Drupal migration. So to demonstrate on updating the Drupal migration, I've added a new field here, which is a URL. So to import this new field, we'll need to first create the field for this website. So we'll need to go to our Drupal page, structure, and go to content type and your organization content type. Add a new field, which is a link, and it will be the website, and continue and save. So once you added this new field, it's time to write our Drupal migration YAML to update it. So I have already updated my Drupal migration YAML, which is in this source field. We'll need to read from the URL, and I will save it as a website variable. And this variable website will be loaded here in the process. And because this website is actually a link type field, you actually need to specify this URI and also the title, like what's the appearance of this link you want it to be. So I will put it as a default value of visit website. So now we're probably ready to migrate our latest Drupal migration. So let us copy this and go back to the page. And like previously, how do we migrate is to import here, single item, import migration, and add here, import. But you see here, there's actually an error message mentioning that an entity with this machine already exists, but import do not specify new UID. Because here we have our ID organization migration, and Drupal was actually wondering like, are you writing a new migration or are you updating an existing migration? If you're updating an existing migration, you should specify this UUID. So how do we get this UUID is by going to the export single item and go here and find the migration that you have previously created. So here, at top here, you have this UUID. And there's another way to get this UUID, which is through this terminal. So you can write here ddev drush, drush, dex, and it will export the migration class. Yeah, these others are actually the different configuration that I have done. So just put it here and you can just write yes. And you can go to your Drupal migration. It does mention like all the configuration will be exported here in files sync, like websites, default files and sync. And you can scroll down and find the migration here. And from here, you can also get the UUID. So it's either way, whether you want to get it from the command line or you want to get it from the, how to say, get it from the UI of the Drupal. So from here, you can just add one line, UUID. Okay, copy again and go back here, import single item and go to migration. And yes, so import here, confirm, and it's basically done. So once you successfully imported the migration, we have existing data that we previously migrated, which is the ID and the short description. So how do we, how do we update the latest data that we have just imported the migration and also the data that we have from the demo JSON. So if you do this, ddev brush migrate import organization migration. Yep. And you come back here and refresh the page, the website is still not updated. So what you need to do is, yeah, there's two ways, which is through here from the UI, go to structure, migration, list migration, execute, import, and there's an additional execution option here. You click this update, execute. Now let's go back to the content that we have. And you can see here the website is updated with the nebulainnovations.com is created. So for the command line interface, we will just need to add a flag which is called update to do the same thing. So in UI is just click the update, and also if it's in the CLI, just the flag dash dash update. One thing I forgot to mention is this migration YAML that we have exported just now using the DevTruth CEX. So for this, you can actually modify your Drupal migration here. And after you modify, you can just run this ddev brush CIM. So it does mention here it's updated. So you just have to press enter, yes, for it to update. But the difference, what I didn't, how to say, why the Drupal actually detected is updated is because this was the exported migration just now without the web, how to say, the web update, the web migration import, and therefore it, and previously we have already using the UI to import the latest Drupal migration, and therefore there's some difference in between, which is this one there's no website update yet, while another one there is. So if you run this ddef.cim, it's gonna overwrite our previous updated migration that we had in there, and it will revert back to the one which is before we have the web migration. So that's basically it. I will just put no for here. And some of the useful ddef drush migrate command that I always use is ddef drush migrate status. So it will show the list of migration that you have and also what's the status. Currently I only have one, but that when you have a very big website migration, you might have 10 different migrations and ID there. And there are also some different migrate import flags that you can use. Just now we mentioned migrate import update, and there's also a migrate import limit that you can put, like probably if you have thousands of Drupal migration, I mean of thousands of data to migrate, but you only wanted to test like 10 of it, then or maybe just one, then you can just put limit one and it will just migrate one. Yeah, but because we already migrate everything, so there's no further migration. But one thing to note that is, for example, you have like 1,000 data to migrate and you put limit like 100. And if you run the second type of limit equals to 100, it will actually migrate the next 100. So in total, you'll be migrating total of 200 if you run that same command twice rather than overwriting the first 100. There are more details in the website that I have shared in my blog, and also some are written in my blog as well. It's hard to explain here, and that's basically it for this video. Is there any question? Feel free to ask me in the comment, or yeah, feel free to connect. Thank you.